Love is a powerful emotion that connects people across distances, cultures, and backgrounds. It can bring joy, trust, and companionship into our lives. But in today's digital age, love can also be a tool used by scammers to manipulate and exploit. Looking for love online? Be careful. Not everyone is who they say they are. Romance scams are on the rise, and thousands of people fall victim every year, losing not just their hearts, but their hard-earned money. From fake profiles to emotional manipulation, scammers are getting more sophisticated in how they operate. But don't worry, in this video, we are diving into the dark side of online romance, where genuine emotions meet deception. We'll expose the tactics they use and show you how to protect yourself. Whether you are new to online dating or a seasoned pro, stay one step ahead of romance scammers and keep your love and your finances safe. Welcome to Romance Scams. Let's dive in. What is romance scam? A romance scam is a type of fraud where scammers create fake online identities to exploit victims emotionally and financially. These scammers often use dating websites, social media platforms, or messaging apps to build trust and form romantic relationships with their targets. Once they've gained the victim's affection, they typically fabricate a personal crisis or claim to need money for various reasons, such as medical emergencies, travel expenses, or legal troubles. This is how a typical romance scam might unfold. 1. Initial contact. The scammer contacts the victim through online dating sites, social media, or messaging apps, often using a fake profile with attractive photos and false personal information. 2. Building a relationship. Over time, the scammer develops a deep emotional connection with the victim, engaging in frequent and intimate conversations to establish trust and affection. 3. Manipulation. Once trust is established, the scammer begins to ask for money or personal information, often citing urgent or emotionally compelling reasons. They might claim to need money for a medical emergency, travel expenses to visit the victim, or even to get out of a difficult situation. 4. Financial exploitation. The victim is pressured to send money, sometimes repeatedly, often through wire transfers, gift cards, or other untraceable methods. The scammer may continue this for as long as the victim is willing to send money. 5. Disappearance. Eventually, the scammer may disappear, often without warning, leaving the victim emotionally devastated and financially harmed. Romance scams can have severe emotional and financial consequences for victims, who may lose significant amounts of money and struggle with feelings of betrayal and shame. These scams are often perpetrated by organized criminal groups who exploit the vulnerabilities of those seeking companionship online. Now, let's look at the signs. What are the red flags? Spotting the red flags of a romance scam can help protect you or someone you know from falling victim to this type of fraud. Here are some common warning signs. 1. Too good to be true. The person's profile is extremely attractive, successful, or otherwise perfect. They express strong emotions very quickly, often declaring love or deep affection after only a short time of knowing you. 2. Avoidance of in-person meetings. They always have excuses for why they can't meet in person, even after a long period of communication. Common excuses include working overseas, military deployment, or personal emergencies. 3. Requests for money. They ask for money for various reasons, such as travel expenses to visit you, medical emergencies, or to help with a business opportunity. They may request funds through untraceable methods like wire transfers, prepaid cards, or cryptocurrency. 4. Inconsistent or vague information. The details of their life story don't add up, or they are evasive when asked specific questions about their background. They might have a profile filled with generic or sparse information. 5. Overly intense communication. They bombard you with messages, often at odd hours, and push for quick communication outside the dating platform, like moving to email or messaging apps. They may use language that is overly romantic or poetic, especially early in the relationship. 6. Urgent or emotional appeals. They create a sense of urgency or panic, claiming to be in a desperate situation that only you can help with. They might use emotional manipulation, making you feel guilty or responsible for their well-being. 7. Poor or unusual language. Their language might not match their supposed background. For example, someone claiming to be from a Western country might have poor grammar or strange phrasing. They may avoid video calls, claiming technical issues or other excuses, which could be an attempt to hide their true identity. 8. Quick moves toward commitment. They push for a quick commitment, such as planning a future together or discussing marriage, even if you've only been communicating for a short time. Ask you to move your relationship offline to more private, less monitored channels. 9. Inconsistent photos. The photos they use might seem too professional, or they might have few photos overall. Reverse image searches of their photos may reveal they are taken from elsewhere on the internet. 10. Reluctance to share personal information. They are hesitant to provide verifiable details about their identity, such as where they work, their address, or personal references. If you notice any of these red flags, it's important to approach the situation with caution. It's often helpful to discuss your concerns with a trusted friend or family member, as they might offer a clearer perspective. Now, let's look at the source of romance scams. The source of romance scams typically stems from organized criminal groups or individual fraudsters who target vulnerable individuals online. Here are some common origins. 1. Criminal syndicates. Many romance scams are orchestrated by well-organized criminal groups, often based in countries with limited law enforcement oversight. These groups employ individuals to manage multiple fake profiles, create convincing stories, and manipulate victims emotionally to extract money. 2. Individual fraudsters. In some cases, independent scammers operate on their own, targeting individuals through dating sites or social media. These scammers often create fake profiles using stolen or stock photos. They target multiple victims simultaneously, playing on emotions to gain financial advantage. 3. Online platforms. Romance scammers typically exploit online dating platforms, social media networks like Facebook, Instagram, or messaging apps such as WhatsApp or Skype. These platforms provide anonymity and easy access to a large number of potential victims globally. 4. Catfishing culture. The act of catfishing, where someone pretends to be someone else online to deceive others, is a key component of romance scams. Scammers often use catfishing to set up the fake romantic relationships necessary to defraud people. 5. Social engineering. Scammers use social engineering techniques to manipulate their victims emotionally. They exploit human psychology, particularly loneliness, vulnerability, and the desire for connection. The rise of digital communication has made it easier to connect with people from all over the world, making individuals more susceptible to manipulation. The root of romance scams lies in a combination of sophisticated social engineering, access to anonymous online platforms, and the exploitation of human emotions like loneliness and trust. How to avoid romance scams. Avoiding romance scams involves being vigilant, cautious, and aware of the common tactics used by scammers. Here are steps you can take to protect yourself. Number 1. Be skeptical of new online connections. Approach online relationships with caution, especially if someone is overly eager or seems too good to be true. Take your time to get to know the person and look for consistency in their story. 2. Verify their identity. Conduct reverse image searches on their photos to check if they appear elsewhere on the internet. Ask for video chats to confirm their identity. Be wary if they refuse or make excuses to avoid video communication. 3. Never send money. Never send money to someone you haven't met in person, regardless of how compelling their story is. Be suspicious of requests for financial assistance, especially if they involve wire transfers, prepaid cards, or cryptocurrency. 4. Keep conversations on the platform. Stay within the dating platform or app until you feel confident about the person's identity. Scammers often try to move the conversation to private channels where their activities are less monitored. 5. Look for inconsistencies. Pay attention to discrepancies in their stories. If their details don't add up, or if they're evasive when asked specific questions, be cautious. Trust your instincts if something feels off. 6. Avoid sharing personal information. Don't share sensitive information such as your home address, financial details, or personal identification numbers with someone you've only met online. Be mindful of what you post publicly on social media, as scammers can use this information to manipulate you. 7. Watch for overly emotional appeals. Be cautious if the person expresses strong feelings too quickly or makes emotional appeals for help. Scammers often try to create a sense of urgency to manipulate you into acting quickly. 8. Do your research. Look up details they've shared, such as their job, background, or city, to see if they match reality. Check if the person has multiple social media profiles with different names or information. 9. Discuss with trusted friends or family. Share your experiences with trusted friends or family members. They can offer a different perspective and may notice red flags you've overlooked. 10. Report suspicious activity. If you suspect you are being scammed, stop all communication immediately. Report the person to the platform you met them on and to relevant authorities such as the Federal Trade Commission (FTC) in the US or other local consumer protection agencies in your country. 11. Trust your instincts. If something doesn't feel right, trust your gut and take a step back. It's better to be cautious and protect yourself than to risk becoming a victim. By staying vigilant and following these precautions, you can reduce the risk of falling victim to a romance scam. Thank you for watching. Meet you in the next video.